welcome to this video on the top 5 questions to ask before becoming a broker. So I'm talking about being a mortgage broker in Canada, just as a reminder. So these are the key things, having now been a broker nearly 6 years in the industry as well. These are the key things that I've learnt that I think new brokers should be aware of. So number one, and I think this is the most important one, can you sell? So a lot of your role even if you're very experienced, you will be a salesperson. This doesn't necessarily mean sort of cheesy sales. It could be education based. So a lot of our approach is education based. If you can show that you're an expert and that you have value to add, this is just as good of a sales technique as the sort of more traditional sales of convincing people to use you because of X, Y, Z. So sales is a really key thing when you're starting out. When you're starting out, you won't have any clients, you won't have any relationships with existing partners, or you may have an existing network which helps give you a bit of a step up, but you will be doing a lot of outreach. So when I was starting, there was cold calling, there was connecting with potential referral partners, joining networking groups, also learning how I can actually add value to potential clients as a broker that's new in the industry, competing against not only other mortgage brokers but banks and everything like that as well. So you will need to be comfortable selling. Even now, even when you are 30 years into the industry, you will still have calls with clients where they will still be making a decision whether they want to use you or not, and you need to be able to be confident in your ability, your knowledge, and your ability to sell your services to those clients. So a lot of our role is a sales role, so you need to be prepared for that. And when you start out, a lot of what you'll be doing is a lot of sales. So you'll be doing a lot of outreach, or what brokers should be doing, and they don't do as much of, is you will need to reach out to new partners, have as many meetings with people as possible, really hone your craft. That is way more important if you want income quickly than learning every lender policy under the sun, which is a common mistake lots of brokers make when they start. Number 2, do you have backup funds? So one of the best bits of advice I was given is, make sure you have money to get by, because when you are starting out in the industry, it takes a while for earnings to come through. I think it's similar in the real estate industry. People see big commissions potentially, and they think, oh, I'll be able to earn those. A lot of those big commissions come from clients that require a lot of experience or a lot of trust to work with you in the first place. You're seeing the end result. You're not seeing the sort of 10, 20 plus years that it's taken to get to that stage where you will be able to work on that. You can't sort of you need to walk before you're able to run. So a lot of this, you need to have backup funds. So part of it is because income will be lower when you are starting out, and it may not be consistent as well. So as a broker, you are fully commission based. So you may have 1 month where you'll have 3 files, and then you may have 3 months where you have no files. So you need to be able to have backup funds to get you through, and it's definitely worth making sure you have a reserve of funds for other things. So you need to pay licensing fees, you need to pay the education fees when you are taking your license. There's also industry events, industry associations as well that you want to pay for. And if you are a sole broker, there's different services such as CRMs, maybe email marketing tools, lots of different things. For example, Loom, technology, Canva for your marketing, there's a lot of different costs that you will have to or may have to pay, and you want to make sure that you have a budget for these. Not to mention technology, you want to make sure you have a good enough device you can work from. If you need office space, make sure you're budgeting for when you are working, and be conservative with your potential earnings, especially if you are starting out new. So make sure you have a backup funds, and this I would recommend be in the tens of thousands rather than 2,000 or 3,000, as that will go very, very quickly. Next, are you entrepreneurial? So a lot of the role is constantly looking to improve. We are a very changing industry, kind of week on week, month on month, year on year. There's different lenders coming into play. There's different policies. There's different consumer trends. There's different economic data. Just the way that people like to deal with mortgages. Especially with technology, the days of AI, you need to be able to be entrepreneurial in how you build your business, because that's what you're doing. You are building a business. There are lots of different ways to be a mortgage broker, and lots of different brokers that find success in different ways. So you need to be entrepreneurial about figuring out what works for you as a mortgage broker, what doesn't work for you as a mortgage broker. You need to be open to learning all the time, improving your processes, your systems, and also growing your business. A lot of the successful mortgage brokers that are high income earners get to the stage where they need a team to help them. Otherwise, they get overloaded and they aren't able to handle the volume. So you need to be entrepreneurial if you are getting into this industry. The next one, can you work alone? So as a mortgage broker, even if you're with a brokerage, even if you have team events and conferences and things like that, a lot of the time, unless you are joining a team, which is different, you will be working alone. So you need to be comfortable with being a sole business person. Even if you have an office, there may be sort of limited desk space or limited brokers that use the office, or everyone's doing their own thing. It's less, so if you're used to a company environment where you have teams and meetings and things like that, you are more of a solopreneur in this industry where you will need to be comfortable working alone. You may have mentorship and things like that as well, but most of the time you will need to be comfortable working on your own, problem solving on your own. Hopefully you have guidance as well. And then there should be training provided as well through different sources. We provide training through eMentor. Brokerages provide training as well, which can be really important. But you will be doing a lot of that stuff on your own, and you will need to be a self-starter as well. When you are self-employed, when you're a business owner, you need to have that self-motivation, because no one is there to sort of make you, no one's going to not pay you. The harder you work, the harder you earn, but also the opposite of that is true. If you're not working, you won't be earning any money. The results won't just come. You do need to work very hard in this industry to see those good results. And then finally, are you patient? So being a broker, and especially if you have high income goals, this takes time. Not only is there a lot to learn, but even now, 6 years into the industry, 300, 400, 500 files into the business, I'm still learning. There's still things, lender policies evolve. You won't come across every client situation. Even the most experienced brokers are still learning. So you need to be patient. It will take time to learn. It will take time to grow your business, to grow your database into one where you can have that sustainable income that you want. Another thing as well is relationships with people do take time. It may take 2 or 3 years for a referral partner to trust you to start referring you business. This is common. So if you're expecting quick results, this is not the business for you. You need to be prepared for things to take time. When you're starting out, it'll be planting a lot of seeds and you won't see much growing. But you need to, if you keep that consistency, keep doing the right things, then you will get those results in the long term. You just need to be patient with it. So these are the top 5 questions to ask before becoming a broker. I hope that's helped if anyone's considering joining the industry. If there's any other key questions you want to ask, drop them in the comments section. If you like the content we're putting out here as well, let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see. Appreciate any feedback. I'm Giles. I created training for new mortgage brokers. I'm trying to provide as much useful content out there. So all of the YouTube channel information is free, but we do have our paid comprehensive training for new brokers as well through eMentor. So love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you in another video soon. Thanks.